here. That up. Okay, let's see. Why don't I have wrong one? Let me see here. I'm going to have to do some adjustment if you're out there. It's been a few since I've been on. Get rid of you and bring you up. So that's 2. There's my overhead. I'll bring you down some. Just a little more. That should be good. Not sure if you're hearing me, but we'll find out here in a second. Okay, mic ain't that strong, but that's because I don't have it in my face. That should be a lot better for the mic. Huh. Oh, start a poll. Cool. Let's see. Now, I wish I had a chat box on this, but that's all right. Let's get that one. So why ain't we having this one working? That must be. Oh, it's got to be that one. Let me see here. Turned on. Why isn't it working? Huh. Let me re-add that source and see. Remove it. Add source. Cameras. Caption. There we go. That's that one. Fit the screen. There it is. Now let's see if it pops up the other way. Yeah, okay, good deal. So I gotta do some adjustment here. This one's been bumped around for a while. And then get a little bit of, let's see, that ain't too bad because it's actually closer on that screen than it is on mine. So let me do this. That's the one I want. I'll remind me later. 920, I can bring this up a little bit. We'll see how that goes. That's a little better. Now I can crank it down just a little bit more. We'll see how that fits. Maybe a little too low. I can crank up the zoom just a smidge more, and now move this up a little bit. I think that'll help adjust it better. Hey, look at that. There we go. That does work better. Hey, Z, what's up, buddy? Just trying to get things adjusted. It's been a while since I've done a live. Seems to look all right. Should sound pretty decent. Yeah, sounds all right. So how's everybody doing? Hope you're all right. Figured it's time to do a little bit of work to this. You may realize it's Monday afternoon, and I'm usually not around to do these because I've been typically at work. I got let go a month ago, so I'm in the process of fighting for a little bit of unemployment until I can find some more solid, fulfilled work again, sustained work. So fun as that is, it's kind of strange. I've only been quote unquote let go from one other job. It was when I was quite young, coming in 5 minutes late, which I understand, not complaining about it, but oh, that's a bummer. That sucks just about as bad. Especially when shit goes on with the cars and it's pricey to get to. I just put a front end on my truck about 2.5 months ago, 2 months ago, just got done with it. And then a month later get, let go from my job. So yeah, that's a bite. So I figured I'm going to spend a little time. Back in my head, I got to mull some stuff over why I'm doing something here. But yeah, I've been out, kind of looking for work and making some calls and yeah. So hopefully soon I'll be back into some steady work. But until then, I'm going to apply for unemployment, got denied because of the way things are in the state. But I can appeal it, and I'm going to do that. And that's what my next step in that position, which I'm going to take, later on this afternoon. I'll file the appeal. Get that out of the way. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. What is today? Today's 10th, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. But I figured I'm going to do a little bit of work on this. I've been kind of putting it off. I was going to do some over the weekend and just wasn't feeling that great. Let me go ahead and pull this out. Got a few things here I'm going to be using. Some things I'm not. But I'm going to try to do most of the final assembly on the dash area and all the diamond plate work. Try to get that all finished up. And it's pretty much done, but there's a couple things here and there I still need to tweak out. And make adjustments to. So let me see, we'll put all this over here. This is all excess stuff at the moment. For the most part, there's still a couple bolts I got to put back in there. These can come over in that pocket too. So I've obviously done some work to this off camera and not on my lives, as you can tell. And I'll go through that as I'm tearing apart and doing stuff. Yeah. Fun hobby. I'm still paying stuff off, though. I wasn't expecting to be looking for work, so that kind of sucks. So it does, have its downside sometimes. I'm not sure why. I mean, I'm 59, so I've worked, a good portion of my life. A lot of it's been on the road. I really enjoyed this job. There was very little I would have ever done to have put it in jeopardy. It was close. I was home 15 minutes after punching out, which is a new one. Most of my office has been in my van or my truck or whatever it was I was driving. I've been a windshield guy on the road for a lot of years. So being home every night, not gone for the week, living out of a hotel room in a fast food restaurant, man, I was very good behaved because this is a nice job. It wasn't hard work. It was steady work. I was a supervisor in a maintenance function. working at a local apartment complex. Townhouses, I guess you can call it. So that's what I was doing. Yeah, and like I said, this job was nice. I wouldn't have, put it in jeopardy because it was a good job, You don't find them that many. That makes it kind of hard. That makes it a little rough trying to get that out. I guess I'm going to have to pull this out. Okay, that's going to be kind of a drag if I have to do that every time, but alright. I don't have real big bolts in here. I'm going to have to take my bed out to get my shocks off. Yeah, I did a lot of that too. Never worked on a parts counter. Although it's not out of the realm. I worked on cars, like I said, I just put the whole front end on my 98 Chevy 1500. Do the brakes, do pretty much all the work myself. There's some things that at 59 I'm not fond of doing anymore, so I'll take it in and have it done as long as I can afford it, being one of the big things. So yeah, I'm much the same. I do most of my own maintenance, cars and vehicles and everything. So yeah, it's a bummer that this job, all of a sudden, there was nothing. I've never had a write-up, a talk, nothing. So the whole thing is really kind of confusing for me to some point. But, it is what it is, so. Sucks, but that's the way the cookie ass crumbles. Let me go ahead and drop this down before I go too far so it ain't dropping out on me. Have to do a little adjustments here. You there. Get the cage off, gotta take the fronts. Okay. Yeah, sometimes the engineers, you can tell they've never wrenched on a car, number one. And of course there's the whole, designed obsolescence. So that came in the 80s. I learned about that when I was in high school, that companies were going to be designing things to only last 20 to 25 years, and that was it, in automotive industry. And lo and behold, they're lucky if you make it 10 and a lot of stuff anymore. There were always the certain things that were never going to make it. Their batteries, brake pads, shocks, tires, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, everything else wears out in about 10 years. Or, 100,000 miles, give or take. Yeah, when they're the ones with no thumbs or elbows. That's the problem. They think they know something. But like I said, a lot of this is done intentionally, like say a planned obsolescence and stuff like that. So let's see. Make sure I got other ones to get off here. I've got to take these out. That's still got to come out. Or does it? I don't think that one's got to come off. I think now all I got to do is lift it. You go ahead and pull this out. Get her out of the mix. Up there. Come on now. What is the holdup here? All right, I know what it is. I think. Well, no, because that should all come off with the top. All right, let's see. Got to get this off. Hopefully that ain't gonna screw me up. No, that looks fine. This should be popping off much easier than this. What is holding me on? Something is kind of bound up here. Something is still off. What am I still screwed on? Okay. Alright, let me just start loosening this stuff up, pulling it loose, getting it out of the tucked in area. Have to loosen this stuff all up a little bit. Probably gonna have to move that. Come on. Come on. What did I just do with my... Well... say was just here, so let me see, what am I looking at doing? I need to loosen this up in this so I can get that wire out. Okay, get you out, get you out. These I don't think are going to be any issue, but they could be. should come out with the lower stuff. Thank you, thank you. You have a good day, AZ. Enjoy. What is it up here that's kind of holding me up still? I know what some of it is. All right. I did forget those other two. There are two other ones that have to come out. Okay. There it was. That was the two. I knew there was something else I was still missing. Now, what do I have to undo here? All these back ones. Okay, so I need to get rid of you. There we go. There we go. So, one thing I need to do is peel all the plastic. It's time for all that to come off. Make it look pretty. Okay. So I'm going to have to undo the seats here to get that plastic off. Pop you up. Oh boy, she went funky on me. All right, let's just, she does that. I don't know why this camera does that. Let's go ahead and come in here. She gets a little blurry from time to time, acts up. So I gotta shut her off, turn it on. That's all right. We'll take this seat off here. We'll come from the top down camera. All right. Take you off. Get you out. Without mucking you up too much. Duckies. There we go. A little bit of a pain. Move you around. Flatten the floorboard back out. Let's go ahead and peel your plastic all off. Everything cleared out. Get this done. There. Now, okay, I'm going to go ahead and flatten out some of this here again. Retweak things just a smidge. Okay, that's pretty good. Come up quite a ways here. There it is. Get that sucker in that right spot. Okay. That's that. So we put the seat back on. Okay. It's got to go over a little bit more to get in that front hole. Come on. Get up over there. Trying to get that bolt lined up again. I think that's it right there, pretty close. Alright, this so I can get a better position on it. Right, undo tighten up, just gotta hold it down. Now, next up, some shifter placement. So I grabbed me up this piece of, wrong one. Grabbed me up this piece of kit here. Axle parts, I believe this is from the Wraith, I think. Got steering wheels and a couple guns, but mostly it's got these shifters down here. And that's what I was going for. So let me see. Might actually already be open. It's got a thing, but I'll cut her high. Steering wheel piece. That's what that is. I was wondering what was bagging around in the bag there. So, there's a couple pieces I want to use. Not exactly sure which ones, but what I'm believing I can do is add a little bit of scale realism with one of them, but it's gonna I'm gonna have to set it up so it can move back and forth for me. I'm not sure which one would be the best one. Maybe one of these small ones here, these singles, because I could set this up, pop this out, little single shifter. This is cleaned up pretty good. Okay, so if I can get this one, I think I can set this up right here somewhere in this area. Go ahead and pinch that in a little more. So it looks a little better, a little more squared. All these little detail tweaks now. Get everything kind of lined up properly. Go, that's all right. Looks pretty decent for the most part. Move you over just a smidge more. So you got that clearance. There we go. Clearance drops down there. Well, I could put one more there, but I'm not overly worried about that spot. That's going to be just fine. Could easily lock one in there too, but I'm not going to, because that'll be just fine. So, shifter. I would like to set it up where I could make it move, because I'm pretty sure I can do some rigging here and add a piece of wire to the servo arm get it bent so when I shift, this thing could actually rock back and forth. So if I use that one, could probably just use this one too. Use that one and this single shotter here. I think those two will be good. Let's see what we got here. So yeah, as you can see, I've done, you know, quite a bit of interior work already. Made a floor pan, made a box. Of course, I think I did the box on the last video. Mechanical box, safety box, quote unquote. That's where all the battery and wiring obviously is all going to be hidden in and stuck into. Interior, I got seat belts to throw on when I put Rowdy Roddy back in here. Tunnel ram. So I got the floor pan, which is all this bottom part here as you've seen, the tunnel ram, the safety box, and then of course the dash. I installed the steering wheel that moves, put the lights in, kind of hid the wiring, got things all kind of stuck up in here. Added some panels. You can see these panels here, both sides. I put those in there to help clean her up a little bit, make her look a little better. I do want to kind of tweak these panels a smidge, just in the one spot there. But to get them, this top area here, make this look a lot better. It's a little uneven and rough looking. I want to kind of clean it up, trim it off, and make it look a little bit better. So all that's pretty much good to go. The rest of this is all pretty much good to go. I mean, I'm not going to do any real tagging or anything on this. I'm just going to leave it folded up, bent, and use a little bit of E6000 or shoe goo, if you will, to kind of mount it in and help lock it into place as I throw it all back together. But I'm thinking I can just mount these two guys up in here. One there, you know, where about he would be shifting from. And one about here. And like I say, I'd like to be able to make this one, well, that's right in the middle, so I won't be able to do it there. I'd have to have it setting up here maybe. Actually, it'd have to be kind of over here. So I could put these across. That one can mount here. I could put this one over here so it's up out of the way a little bit. Maybe put this one towards the back. Let me see. If I put that there, that would be room underneath that to mount one screw to that. And then here I could mount a screw in and get it so it rocks. I might even be able to do something from underneath with it. But I can run a lever piece of, you know, wire, stiff wire, connected to the servo arm, or even this connection right here at the dig. So when I move this dig servo, the lever would move back and forth, indicating dig movement. Is what I'd like to do with it. It's how I'd like to make it function. It wouldn't be hard to do. Like I said, a little bit of wire. It's just got to be able to be locked onto the servo arm or the dig lever, so when it moves, the wire moves and pushes this forward or center or backwards. Simple to do. So that would be in lockout, that would be in neutral, and that would be in drive, so that would work. Forward for four-wheel drive, center, backwards. So yeah, I could probably do that. That there. So if I can do something like this, because he's going to be sitting there, I could put this here. This darn thing. And then this could be on this side. Actually, this can come up a little ways. This is the actual shifting lever. We'll say for forward reverse, but I'm not going to make that movable. That'll stick just where it's at. Put a little screw in it and hold her in place. About right there. Saying that this one, if I have to, I can probably get her back over here a little bit. If I center her there, that's not bad. That's not going to be able to get the shift working there. That's on the other side. I could go right here with it, because that ain't too far out of the hand. I think that's a good spot. I got a little room next to the piece there. I should be able to put a little mechanism, just drop a hole in the diamond plate, run a screw through it, and just wrap the wire around the screw real tight. Maybe even screw it tight to the bottom, or close to the bottom, just so it's got room to slop, and when it moves, it pulls that screw back and forth. So I could probably do it that way. A little screw in that to hold it in place, but I do have to paint them. So I will be doing this once or twice. So that's the shifters. I'm wondering, because I got Rowdy's 12 gauge besides the one on the rack here, which is about the same size if you look at it. They're all about the same, so no reason this one I don't think won't work in here. So I'm thinking this potentially, well, I guess it'd be the other way, which would be all right. Upside down would work, but this is going to have to flip over this way. Let's see, now it goes like this. That's how it mounts on there. So this would potentially, done ya, mount like so. Of course. Something like that, but I did think about just having it, shoe glued on the dash across the top here. I'll figure something out with that. I might be able to use that gun rack. We'll see. Is there anything else in this I wanted to use? I don't think so. Those spacers aren't quite going to work for what I want. Oh, those are door handles, and don't want those. So yeah, that's really all I was looking for out of this bag. And these are what, M2s? Look like M2s. Yeah, I've got some other ones I could use in my other box over here, so I don't have to open that bag up. So let's get these in here. Few others to use for other projects, which will be fine. There for the minute. Let me see. Oh, these gotta go in there with that. Okay. So that'll all work there. I guess I ain't gonna get that up too much farther. That's all right. I don't need to. getting shot. I gotta undo and trim that end off. There we go. Tighten that up the rest of the way. So, if I mount this shifter here, pop her off. You off for a minute. See, I do have the piece underneath there. For the top of the tranny, which is fine because that tells me where the edges are at. So on this line, doing this here, then this can come right up here somewhere, like that. You can probably just do that, move it forward, but this still has to come back over here, and it would look better like this. All right, so let's take a peek here. We have you towards the edge, then our hole is here. That'll work. Okay. So let me get out my bag of screws. I believe those will work. Actually, I don't need to use scales on these. Oh, just old school crappy ass screws. Let me see if I can find some good small ones. A little long, but there we go. A little stainless one would probably work. Well, that's a little bigger. There we go. It's a nice tiny little cap head that should work in there nicely. Alright, let's get my driver. No, I believe that's going to be the blue. Number 2. Nope, that is the smaller one. So you go here. Okay, gotta be. Okay. Okay, there's that one. That will work. And let's see what I can do with this one. I can put that right at the back of it. Shouldn't be a problem. Got enough room there. And with that there, that means I might be able to get that to work pretty simply. That. A little bit of room right there to get the guess I can try it right there. Here in this other corner. Let's see, I'm going to need actually a decently long screw for this, because it needs to be able to extend down a little bit. Guess I could use that one, a little bit on the same length as that. Do I have anything else? It's the same. Could use this screw. It is a better looking solid black than the other two. Newer looking anyways. Let's see, anything else? This one, it's a long one. Okay, it's going to have to be bigger. Just a little bit. That will go through there. So now, two things. I need a couple nuts that are going to work on this little thing. Maybe three. Two to lock together so it don't move on me. And one more to lock it underneath the piece here, so it's not bouncing around, but it can move. Is that the one? I think that's the one. Yep, okay, so if I do this, these two should be the same. Down, you can go tight. Okay, one more. This one will be to lock on the wire to move, make it move. It's not gonna be tight, just there for right now. Okay. This one's got to go on backwards. Yeah, I guess it doesn't have to. It'd probably work a little bit better the other way. So. You in a little ways, bring you in a little ways. Now let's screw you on. Opens up just a little bit. This ain't going to be able to go in there far, but far enough. Okay, now let me see the knife and clean up this top piece here. I should have done this probably first, but that's all right. Now, let's see. You kidding me? Stuck it on and broke the darn shifter off. That's alright, I can fix that. A little bit of shoe glue will work. Actually, a little bit of actual super glue on that. That's a little too much. Come out a little further. Oh wait, I want that to go the other way. It's got to go in. Just enough to really get some. Okay, do a little bit of adjustment there. Pull the other one off, put it on. Hey, what's up, Ideal? How you doing? Trying to mount a shifter here, and I broke the darn shifter, and I got to do a little adjustments to it. Come on now. All right. Take this down just a little more. I think that'll work for that. Now, let me see. Do this without breaking this one. Here for the minute. Peel up a smidge. Get your thread in evenly and level. A little more spite here. Right there. Get up over here, or you can see what the hell I'm doing. Basically, I'm just threading this bolt into the shifter on the bottom, making a spot for it to thread in. Come on, get in there. Try to keep it even and level so it sets evenly. Yeah, real tedious crap. All right, now I want to open this up, elongate it a little bit so let's get a little bit more rock into it. Try to do it this way, I guess. Put another little hole here on the back side. Hello. All right, I'm gonna have to take this, so give me a minute. Looks like it's Dean, but I'll probably have to mute and take this call if she calls back. Sure she will. All right, moment here. She's probably gonna call back. Looks like her phone's dropping calls every time she calls, which means she's not in the greatest area for service. Yeah, on, off, on, off. There we go. Okay, I'll be back in a second. Alright. Pain in my ass. Let's see. Tuck that in a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here because I'm going to have company in 10 minutes. So I want to take care of a couple things and have to listen to the old lady complain and bitch about her light on her dash not being on and blah, blah, blah. And she can't ignore it, so she's gonna blow a bunch of stupid money to get a tire inflation sensor because it's on. It looks like a pinball machine. Get over it. You got lights all over that dash. You're complaining about one. There's 10 more that aren't even on. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and shut down. I'll be back later. I guess I'll go ahead and box up here and get that done. But we'll talk to you guys in a while. I'll probably come back on here in an hour. I'm going to grab some lunch, go out, check all the birds anyway. So, we'll talk in a little bit. Have a good one.